Broadcom reported better than expected earnings this week. Was this a surprise given the lackluster reports that we've heard from other tech names?
Well, yes and no. Obviously, the macro has hurt everybody. I think expectations came down for Broadcom, particularly last week when the stock fell to 28 when Samsung announced the acquisition of CSR. And there was fear that maybe Samsung would start to make their own combo chips, which we then bought the stock because we do not think that Samsung is going to be as successful right away. They might down the road, but I think this is like a 3 to 5 year clear path for Broadcom to continue to gain market share. So macro is weak. I think expectations have come down. Qualcomm certainly was disappointing, but you rallied on the news again on low expectations. But the real part of the Broadcom story is that they are diversified. Yes, they have exposure to Apple, they have exposure to Samsung, but they also have exposure to Cisco and Alcatel-Lucent and even Nokia, where they're actually getting more content out of their products onto their company's platforms. And so as they gain market share in a variety of different places, wireless, networking, that kind of thing, they are able to actually deliver a little bit better than some of their pure play peers.
So the Apple earnings miss this week was not a concern for you with respect to Broadcom?
Well, I believe that the Apple miss was largely the iPhone deferral, right? iPhone 5, everyone's waiting for that. Certainly slowness in Europe cannot be discounted at all, and it was disappointing, but I do still believe that iPhone 5 comes out, and then another iPad comes out, and that is to the benefit of Broadcom down the road. And in the meantime, the company is raising guidance for the next quarter. iPhone 5 is not going to be out for the next quarter. So clearly they're gaining market share at other vendors. And I think that speaks very highly to the products that they make, the superior technology, and the execution.
It seems like they certainly are gaining share from maybe a Qualcomm. Do you think they're going to be able to keep this market share when Qualcomm's able to?
I think that they can keep the lion's share of their market share. They have a 70% share of the combo chip market. So I do think that other technology is going to come into play. But theirs is actually, they already have a huge lead and a huge advantage in 5G. So they are well advanced in terms of their technology, their execution, and they've made some very strong acquisitions that have positioned them well for the future. So sure, there could be market share, some market share loss, but I still think that they're going to be the dominant player.
Right, and now the stock, you were buying it last week when it was a lot lower. Are you still buying it here, or what are you doing with the stock? Do you take some profits?
Yeah, I mean, we talked last week about Broadcom being a no-brainer under 30, and it really is. Just on valuation alone, and just given the cash position and the balance sheet and that kind of thing. Mid-30s, I think we probably would be taking some off, just because you have a good move, and we did that with EMC a couple of weeks ago when it was up 10%. I think you have to do that in this environment because it's a trading environment, but I think we'll keep this as a core position just given the strong fundamentals and the excellent execution by this management team.